Alright, and we are live again this week in RPM Esports F1. Welcome everybody who tuned in already. We are watching the low gear division tonight in round 9 on Bahrain. I am your commentator, always Rick 2, and I'm welcomed by Mr. Shaquille, or aka Shack Attack. How are you doing?
I'm okay, thank you. I hope you're doing well. And yeah, Bahrain is always a fun race to watch. So yeah, I'm hoping it's going to be a good race. And of course, they're in the desert tonight, so it is hopefully going to be dry all round.
Yes, for sure. And well, we are watching the low gear division, which is one of the most exciting divisions at the moment this season. We got multiple drivers fighting for the championship. We got Jones, who's still in the championship fight, but he lost out in the last two races. And also Sprink is back in the lead with 200 points, and Matt Johnson just behind him. Also, the constructors looks very exciting, since we got Alpine and Aston Martin going all the way the entire season. Matt Johnston and Spritzy seem to be having found their way into this racing and gained a lot of points in the last few races. So let's see how they will do tonight. Well, we are watching the first cars on track. I'm looking for the first one right now, and it's gonna be Rosie Beach in the Alpha Tauri, who's going to be doing the first time of this round.
Yeah, and of course, the Aston Martins will be looking to get a good result because, as you said, the Alpines are really quick. And yeah, both Aston Martin and both Alpine drivers are here today, so it should be a good fight for the lead. And also with Sprink and Matt and Jones as well, I think that's going to be a really good fight to see who could maybe lead the championship going out of this race.
It will be a very exciting moment, and of course after this race we only got 3 rounds left, so let's hope the championship will continue for those rounds as well. Of course the drivers will not be hoping for it, and be hoping they can be called champion any time soon, but for now it looks very exciting till the end of the season, which has been a successful season for a lot of drivers in low gear division.
Yep, and already the AlphaTauri is setting the fastest sector times, and all the drivers behind will be looking to beat it.
Yeah, Rose Beach seems to be doing a great job at the moment. Of course, he's the first car on track, so of course the sector times will be purple as well. But in the last few races, he really developed some pace and some consistency. Was unlucky in a few of them, but let's hope for him tonight that curse ends tonight and he can get a decent result once again.
Yeah, and for the race, consistency is very much going to be key because this track with the long corners is very difficult to not make a mistake throughout the whole lap, and also with track limit warning. So it's going to be tough for the drivers, but they'll just want to be as consistent as they can to try and get a good result.
And you now mentioning the track limits on this track, which indeed are very hard, and the grip on this track is very hard as well, since we are of course in the desert, so the track can always get a bit slippery because of some dust on track. But what corners do you think are the most difficult based on grip and track limits?
I think for the grip, when your tires start to wear out, it's definitely I'm not sure what turn number it is, but the long right hander in the last sector, that curve could also be quite a nightmare to go over, especially with worn tires, and can spin you out really easily. And I think a lot of the corners, especially maybe the turn 1 chicane complex type bit and the last corner, those are all quite difficult with track limits, so it will definitely be tough to keep the penalties low. And of course, a lot of times over the season, a lot of places have been won and lost on penalties, so to maximize the points they're really going to have to be careful.
For sure there, and well, we were explaining the track limits and the difficulty of traction on this track. We got Sprink, who got disqualified from the qualifying, And now we'll be starting at the back. Well, he is leading the championship. Also, a lot of times are flying in. We got Rochins already with a really good time on P1 at the moment, with a 127.1, and all behind there. He has 7/10 gap towards P2. Jones and Neddy seems to be very close at the moment with Westy on P4. That's a good lap from him. He had some unlucky moments in the qualifying last week. I'm not saying that wasn't my fault, but it wasn't. Spritzy on P6 with a good result. Well, good banker lap at least. He will be looking for a better one though, since he is of course fighting for the constructors with his teammate Matt Johnston, who just joined back in the session. So let's hope he can get a lap in anytime soon. We see two cars currently on the medium, which is Big Bucky in the Mercedes and the Maverick in the Alfa Romeo. It's 2 seconds between those cars though. 1.2 seconds at least. So let's see if they can improve those times on those medium tires, and I think they will definitely have a small advantage on them, but the tire wear on the track is of course very difficult, and everybody will be looking at a 2-stop anyway.
Yeah, and well, Jella also retiring, so our championship leader retiring is really gonna make Matt Johnson and Jones happy, because obviously they're not too far behind in the championship, and Spink is gonna have to put in some hard work if he wants to get a good result this race, as of course he is starting from the back. But as you were saying with the pit stop strategies, starting at the back, could work out for him because he has more choice of the strategy, and safety car could play into this quite a lot as well.
Yeah, safety car is not unknown on the track of Bahrain, so let's hope for him at least that one at least is coming, and for all the other drivers let's hope it's not, and it keeps very exciting. Well, Cosmo made a big spin there on the combination turns in sector 2 and lost out on a good lap, I guess. He was going purple in the first sector. So yeah, unfortunate for RPM Cosmo here, but he will be doing another lap after this one, I think.
Yeah, Cosmo was on a quite a good lap there. Unfortunate mistake, but 10 minutes left, so he has quite a lot of time to maybe change tires and go for another lap.
Also Sinful now on an out lap.
Yeah, there's other Jack is on the lap as well, coming into the final sector, and he's a few tenths off the pace of Lauchens at the top, but it's still a pretty decent lap, it looks like.
Yeah, so far the Aston Martin boys are looking really good. Both 5 positions in total behind the P1 position. And let's see what they can do on their second stint, if they decide of course to do one. Still on board with RPM Sinful, one of the drivers we often see in the back, but then gained some positions in the first lap already, and not always outside the points as well. So let's see what he can do on Bahrain in the Mercedes car, currently on a soft tire. And interesting is to see that his teammate Big Puggy in the Mercedes done already 3 laps on his medium tire, which can of course be a tricky decision, seeing the track, the tire wear on this track of course.
Yeah, definitely, and Mercedes are in quite a close fight with AlphaTauri for 6th place in the constructors, so it's going to be a good fight between them, and obviously Cosmo and Sinful on their laps right now, so they will definitely be wanting to beat each other. And Puggy, as you said, on the medium, so I'm interested to see what he could do in the race if he decides to stay on them.
Yeah, very interesting to see as well. Indeed. In the meantime, we got a lot of people already joining us in the chat. We got Boris, Colin, Huss, Barker, and Evil Master joining us. Welcome guys, and I hope you guys will enjoy this race here tonight in Bahrain on low gear division. And yeah, throw in some predictions for the qualifying and maybe even already the race if you dare to, after not seeing any qualifying result yet. And of course not one race lap.
What would your predictions be for the race? Or just qualifying or anything?
Qualifying, I think, well, as it goes for now, I think Rochins does have a really good pace. Only done 1 lap and still 4/10 gap between him and Jones. So yeah, I think Rogens might keep the pole position, and I think Spritzy will join him on P2, and Jones might go down to P3.
Yeah, Rauchen's 2 tenths up already. That's a really good lap from him, because 2 tenths is quite a lot in qualifying. But Jones, he always gets a good qualifying result at the end. So when the minutes start ticking down, who knows what pace he'll come out with.
Yeah, he might do one last lap and maybe even hit a high 26 anywhere. Yeah, of course, there's always room to improve, but let's see if he can find the improvement. Well, the Maverick is on his soft stint and is 1.4 seconds off his current time. So that will be looking very decent. Let's see what he can do on the last straight here into the last corner. And then on the DRS zone of the finishing line.
Yeah, Mercedes sector times aren't looking too bad. And P8, that's pretty decent.
That's a really decent lap from the Maverick and Alfa Romeo, who will not be joining his teammate at the moment. His teammate is still in P16, but something I did notice is that both Ferraris are currently in the top 5 position. Zabiaka trying the mediums as well.
Yeah, so we've got everyone on the softs apart from Puggy, who's currently in the pits, and Zabajaka. But I think if Puggy wants to get into the top 10, I think he might have to go on softs, because if you're already outside the top 10, there's no real point using up your medium tyres if you're just going to use them at the start of the race anyway.
Yeah. Well, Matt Johnston is now coming out of the last corner in the Alpine car, of course, fighting for the championship. And let's see what his first lap will be. And it's a pole position.
By about half a tenth.
Yeah, also now the Alpines joining each other close up into the qualifying. And that's a really close one towards Rauchins, who of course did only one lap yet. So he might improve and get that pole position away from Matt Johnson again. The Mighty Frex currently on P18. He just done a lap as well. And now all cars are looking at a time. Only improvement can be what they're looking at.
Yeah, and it looks like I think Natty is on the lap in Liz Williams, and he goes purple in sector 1 by about 100th of a second from Matt Johnson's fastest sector 1, so he's looking at a really good lap time in Liz Williams if he can keep this up.
Yeah, Natty now on board with the Williams car here. Last week he was, believe, in the Red Bull car, and now he's taking on the points for Williams.
Yeah, and of course Williams with
winning the validation.
Oh, yes, unfortunately he was on quite a good lap, and Williams also last, unfortunately, in the Constructors' Championship. So, yes, they are. So, Natty will be hoping to try and help them a bit and try and get a few points, but he does pit, of course, after invalidating his lap.
The Mighty Frex having some troubles on the exits here, and he decides to go in, so no next lap from him on those soft tires. RPM Westy having a bit of trouble with a car behind him. Westy's on the outlap though, so he might want to give Rosebeardy the space to get his lap done.
Yeah, he'll have to get out of the way pretty quickly, but I think he's...
And there we go.
Oh, yeah, he did slow him down a bit, but hopefully it wasn't too much. And a lot of drivers having to abort their laps because of, as you said earlier, the track limits being so difficult, invalidating a lot and just having to pit and go again.
Yeah, I think because of the wide track it is, it's easy to get too early on the throttle. And you'll definitely get a bit wider on the exit than you want to, and that's where it's easy to invalidate your lap time. Wow, lap time. So yeah, we've seen quite some invalidations already, or anything else what lap time, while Rosebridge goes for P13. Not a best lap for him, but still he's looking good, close to his teammate.
Yeah, and I think he did lose a lot behind Westy, so I guess that will put a bit of confidence in him that he can go faster. But yeah, this track is kind of like Silverstone with the track limits. As you said, it's a really wide track with long corners, so you might think that you could go on the accelerator a bit earlier, but actually you have to be a bit disciplined with the throttle out of the corners so you don't invalidate your lap.
No, exactly.
Jones on the lap as well, and not too far behind Matt Johnson's personal best Sector 1 time.
And Big Buggy is out of the qualifying with 2 minutes left. We are currently on board with RPM Spritzy. He is currently holding the P5 position and will be looking to see if he can join his teammate in the top 3 at least. Both Alpines already did quite some first row starting positions together this season. We saw it in Portimao and last week in China as well, where they were just dominating the race. And let's see what they can do on the track of Bahrain. Oh, Spritzy's 4 seconds up on his time, so he will be aborting this lap and go for a next one.
Yep, and Jones goes P3 and just gets Celia Mesquita there by about 300th of a second into P3, and but still behind Matt Johnson, which he wouldn't want because he is behind Matt by about 10 points, so he will be looking to qualify ahead of him to make it a bit easier for the race.
Yeah, for sure. One of the cars, of course, you called up just now is one of the Williams, Mesquita. I didn't see him yet on the qualifying, but a sneaky P4 for him at the moment, and he is improving his lap. So let's see what he can do, and maybe he can get a really good result after this qualifying and giving him a good starting position for the race.
Yeah, but I think it will be close between Mesquita and Spritzy because they've both put in quite good Sector 1s. Spritzy put in the fastest Sector 1 of the qualifying session, and Mesquita putting in a pretty good Sector 2 as well, and I think the times are starting to ramp up here towards the end of the qualifying session.
Oh, and there we go, at 26.9, and Mesquita takes pole position for the moment. Let's see what
Matt Johnson's coming up as well there.
Oh, and there goes Matt Johnson, 1/10 off, or not even 1/10 off, a 10th off to the time of Mesquita. And he retook the pole position time. Now Spritzy onto the final corner, into the straight. And he goes for a 27 flat, which brings him up P3. He joining his teammate there. Jones finished his qualifying. So did Sabiaka with an invalidation. RPM Westy had a big moment, I guess, because he is a lot off time there. Netty is 1.2 seconds up on his time as well, so he won't be improving. Rusty Oilcan is 0.033 seconds off his time. So let's see what he can do in the last corner there. Maybe a bit of improvement. Yeah, 2/10, but no. Yeah, well, he did take a position to P8. Cosmo going to P6. I see, splitting up both the Aston Martins. Then we got Netty just finished. Yeah, Netty did reach the finishing line just in time. Let's see what we got in front of him based on times. Gui stopped his lap there. Rosebridge invalidated, so it's only Netty who can maybe improve a lot of his time, and he's going 6/10 up already.
Yeah, but it's looking like a very good time for him, but let's see what he can do out of the final corner. He has to keep this nice and smooth, which he does do. Opens the DRS and across the line. P4.
P4, and this is a battle between Williams and Alpines on the first starting rows. We got Matt Johnson in the pole position, Mesquita on P2, Spritzy in the Alpine on P3, and then we got one more Williams on P4. And this is going to be a very, very interesting starting grid on front.
Well, in the Constructors' Championship and the Driver Championship, really, Alpine do have the advantage over Aston Martin, because Matt and Spritzy in P1 and 3, and the Aston Martin's all the way down in P6 and P6 and 8. So it's really looking good for Matt and the Alpines.
It really is, and looking at the board now, this is one of Mosquita's best results in the qualifying so far. Of course, Netty is not in the list of the standings since he is a reserve for low gear, but he definitely proved that he will be taking a permanent seat maybe next season. Also, Jamakovic joining us in the chat saying let's go, and indeed it's going to be a very interesting race in my opinion. Check after this qualifying, what are your thoughts?
Well, Matt Johnson is about a 400th gap to Mosquita in P2. I think he will probably have the upper hand, but also Spritzy, he's always pretty fast in the races. So he's definitely going to be one to watch as well. I think Jones and Zabatraka, they'll try their best to get up into the podium and just as high as they can. But I do think the Alpines will come out on top this race, whoever that might be.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, I think the Alpines will definitely big challenge towards the Williams, as I think someone needs to retire from the session because we are stuck on 1 second.
It shouldn't be the mighty Firax. So, hopefully he'll retire.
Let's see what's going on at the moment. Real quick in low gear channel. And yeah, it seems like the staff is fixing it at the moment. So let's hope it will be done anytime soon. Also in the chat, if you got any predictions, please throw them in. I already see Huss saying in 0-1 in before turn 1. I think P1 in turn 1. It's always it's a RPM Spritzy. He's guessing Spritzy is getting pole position in turn 1.
Well, the two Alpines, should I say, they are split. So Mosquito's going to try his best to keep Spritzy behind him.
For sure. And of course he will try to help his teammate out to get both on the podium positions in the first lap of the round. And maybe even towards the end. It's all depending on luck tonight and all on strategy. As we can see that all the way to P5 it's only 2 tenths between P5 and P1. After that it's really close as well, with P10 actually within a second. And there we go.
Yeah, Jones was really close as well. So it's definitely going to be interesting with the top 5 or 6.
Definitely an interesting one. Boris being happy that the session finally started. And so are we, so we can go on to the race which after a really exciting qualifying. And so far I only see Hus with a prediction in the chat, so everyone else might be still thinking about it.
Yeah, let's get those predictions in, guys.
Or not.
Of course you can't really predict because these races are always a bit dramatic and with loads of things happening, but yeah, try best and who knows what will happen. And of course with only 3 races left, if we're not including this race, it is going to be interesting because all the drivers will want to get in as many points as possible before the last race in Belgium. So could we see maybe a few dive bombs here and there, a few people going for late moves or whatever. I think it'll be a good race, but hopefully it's a clean one as well.
I think it will be a clean fight as well. Of course, the track is really wide, and it might consider some cars to make a late move or maybe a bit of a risky move. But let's just hope it all stays clean and well, so all the drivers finish here tonight, and we will be seeing quite a good race here tonight.
Yeah, and of course all drivers in the top 10 starting on softs, and we've got Rasta Okan, Gori, Spivey, Sinful, Flax, Uglab and Spink all on mediums. But then we've got 2 drivers on hards with Big Puggy and the Maverick, and then 1 driver outside the top 10 on the softs. So Jella and the Haas starting from P19. I think he's going to have his work cut out if he wants to use those softs to his maximum ability and make up some positions before his first pit stop.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, interesting to see Buggy and Maverick both choosing the hard tire. It's of course not the fastest compound there is, but it is for sure one of the most lasting compounds. So they might be looking for a one-stop with a hard-soft strategy, and that can definitely make a big interesting strategy there towards the front of the grid, and all depending on their pace. And we've seen, of course, already in the qualifying they were able to make the choice, and both of the cars actually went for the first stint on the mediums.
Yeah, so do you think it's going to be a one-stop for the hards or a two-stop?
For the hard tires, it will definitely be a one-stop if, of course, no safety car pops up.
Yeah, but that could easily happen.
Easily, for sure. But let's not hope it, and let's hope all the cars will come over the line in one piece. As the grid is now forming up again, we got 17 people watching, everybody going mental in the chat. Well, the low gear grid is forming up, and Matt Johnson already took his position with Masquetta now behind him. And we're gonna get on board with Nettie to see if we can get a good look on the lights, maybe even on a different camera. Let's hope so.
Yeah, and it's a big braking zone down into turn 1, so we should see some overtakes and changing of positions.
It's a long way to turn 1 as well, as we got 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights on, and when they are off we are racing, which is now. And it looks like a really clean start in the front, and look at Rochen's already going. He had an amazing start, taking P3 already and challenging the Williams and the Alpine. And there's a bit of contact between Spritzy and Masquetta there. Spritzy going really sharp into turn 1 and 2, but he kept P3 and Rochen's into P4. We see Nettie dropping down. I don't know if he got any damage. No, I think he just lost a lot of positions on the exits here. Westy joining on P6 together with his teammate, with only Cosmo between them. Down the road we got Aston Martins on P8 and 9. They didn't have the best start there was. But it does look like Big Buggy and the Maverick are doing a good job. Both hard compounds are battling it out in the first lap. So far it seems like everybody went through clean.
Yeah, near enough. Well, there have been 3 drivers with wing damage. Rusty Okan, Ruthberger and Sinful. Doesn't look like a lot of wing damage, but still could affect them until they appear. And yeah, the Aston Martins really not getting the start they would have wanted, losing 3 positions for Jones, and Zabajaka stayed where he was, and Jones would really not be happy because he is fighting for that championship, and all the way down in P9 while his rival is leading the race. That's really not going to help him.
That's definitely not going to help him out here, as Rogen is going to attack him on P3 for the Williams of Masquetta. He's on the inside line, both cars side by side, late break from both of them. And there comes Cosmo as well with Westy behind him, and was there contact between Cosmo and Masquetta? I don't know for sure. And Westy got a bit squeezed there as well, as Cosmo went for the late break to try and join that fight in front of him. But it seems like all the cars got through clean, and Westy now battling it out with Cosmo, but he didn't want to risk it on this corner, and he's absolutely right.
Yeah, looks like a spin for Spivey there, unfortunately. But yeah, big fights going on between Rauchins, Mosquito and Cosmo and Westy. Westy's still very, very close behind Cosmo. and if he gets in a slipstream, oh, but he goes a bit wide
Westy
there.
going wide. Yeah, and that's a big loss on positions. So now splitting up the Aston Martin cars, and that's not a place you want to be, since both these cars are fighting for the constructors and want to take every point they can. So they will risk a lot on this race, I guess, but it doesn't seem like Jones have the right traction or something so far.
Yeah, well, he is struggling quite a bit. But Westy going wide, some dust on his tires, and Jones looks like he might want to go for the move, but of course he can't risk a lot because he is fighting for the championship. They have to keep his car in one piece for this race.
He definitely needs to keep it in one piece, as if he wants to keep his championship bell going. And Westy now losing the position towards Jones though, so both Aston Martins are joining a good shot. Westy going for a late break there, so does Jones. And he has the better exit so far, but now goes Westy. Oh, and that's a spin! Ooh. Oh, he's gonna be mad.
Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna be so mad I was on board with him. Again, yeah.
All the way down to P17 for Westy, and with wind damage, so he's definitely going to have to pay, unfortunately, for the Ferrari driver, whose race was looking very good from the start, but this fighting with Jones, and that corner is very tricky to get right. The traction is very difficult, and yeah, just getting caught out there a bit. But Matt leading by 1.7 seconds to Spritzy, so it's an Alpine 1-2. So yeah, looking very strong for the constructors.
Looking really good gap towards the Ferrari behind them of Rochins as well. So let's hope they can continue this fight and gap going on, and the constructors might be in a grasp for the Alpine cars. Well, Sprink is battling it out with the Mighty Frex on P14. That's not the position he wanted to be in the first place after the qualifying, but he got disqualified, and there goes his teammate!
Into the barrier.
His teammate lost it in the fast right-hander, and that's a virtual safety car and a full course safety car. This might be the moment for RPM Westy here, so he can recover. And now it's going to be interesting to see what people are going to do. Jones is in the pit lane. Is that a technical one as well? I don't know, or is it strategic? And it looks like a strategy call. Going for the hard tires.
And Central also into the pits, going for the, I'm guessing, the hard tires to the end. So a lot of guys going to the end. Let's see what Westy does. But yeah, that corner, as I said in qualifying, might catch someone out. And unfortunately for Jeddah, the harsh driver, it did catch him out. I'm not really sure how he spun. I'm suspecting it was on the curb. But yeah, unfortunately for him.
Yeah, I think he touched the curb as well.
Westy on medium tires then, so he's looking for the 2-stop.
Yeah, and I know for a fact he is getting engineered here tonight. So let's hope Barker made a right call here.
Oh, pressure's from Barker then.
All pressure on him.
Yeah, it looks like not a lot of drivers did pit. A lot of all the top runners staying out on their softs. And I guess going for the normal strategy, not wanting to lose any track position to the cars behind them.
No, of course, and it's I think it's quite a normal decision to stay out on the soft tires after just 3 laps. Well, a Glob in Alfa Romeo just took a 10-second penalty for track limits. He's now currently holding 15, and that's a lot. That's not something you lose easily on pit stops. Well, Matt Johnson is staying out. Spritzy is going in. Roaches is going in. Big Buggy is laughing now on those hard tires. So is Gooey. Musqueta goes in. Gosberg, all the soft cars goes in except for Matt Johnson.
Yeah, and it looks like most of them are going on to mediums except for Spritzy, who's going on to hards. And of course, the hard runners, so Puggy, Gooey, Puggy and Maverick, they are going to be slower. Once the safety car comes in, but they have gained track position, and Sprink from last is all the way up into P6 because of the safety car, which is really good for him. And of course Matt Johnson staying out. Do you think that will benefit him, or do you think it could be a bit bad? I personally think it might be okay, because just because his race pace does seem quite good.
Yeah, his pace seems to be good, so I think in the first 2 laps he will have the benefit of it. But after that he will start noticing some slippy tires, losing the grip. So let's see if he can work with that under pressure.
Well, his tires, his front left is on 28%, so he won't really want that to go up too fast, because on the track he could lose a lot of time if his tires are a bit too worn out.
Glob went in as well. He took the soft tires again, so he will be looking at a 2-stop as well. And of course I think he stopped for a 5-second time penalty there as well. So he has only 10 seconds left, which is still a lot. And Haas asking to the tire wear of Matt Johnston at the moment. And that's an answer Mike Ocombs can... That's a question Mike Ocombs can ask.
Yep, 28% on the front left, which is his most worn tire.
28%, that's quite a high side, I think.
It is, but with his pace, hopefully for him, he'll be able to gain a bit of a gap before he pits, and then go onto fresh tires, maybe try the 1-stop and try and go to the end, because most of the guys, the front runners who pit, are on medium, so they may have to pit again.
Yeah, for sure. So now the strategies will come in place. While the grid is forming up again, Westy and Uglab are joining the pack again, and I think after this lap the safety car will go in. And then we are gonna watch the restart of Matt Johnston here on Bahrain.
Yeah, and of course we're hoping for a clean restart, as it usually is. Into turn 1, yeah, it's going to be interesting. As I said before, it's a really heavy braking zone, so it does influence a lot of overtaking opportunities. Especially for people like Spiritzy and Rauchens and Mosquito, who just need to gain as many positions as they can on the guys who have worn tires. So they're going to want to be overtaking Sprink and Thrax fairly quickly after the restart, if they don't want to lose too much time behind them.
No, for sure. And yeah, we've seen Matt Johnston making a small gap towards the safety car, and I think this is one of the difficult tracks to decide when you want to go on the safety car, of course. I think exit on the last corner is a good decision, but it's such a long straight that the gap, of course, can be closed easily, so you might want to consider going right before the finishing line, but that's up to not up to me, it's up to Matt Johnston here. Well, the safety car lights are off, and we will be restarting the race this lap.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot of guys on the restart this track actually, as you said, start racing right at the finishing line, so just to minimize the slipstream advantage on the cars behind. So, but yeah, let's see what Matt does this time.
Well, Johnston now coming out of the last corner, and he goes earlier than expected, and I think Gooey was a bit surprised there, but it's only a 8/10 gap, and that's exactly what we meant. And here we go, Big Buggy closing in towards Gooey there, but he can't make the speed, and Maverick was a bit sleeping, I think, as he didn't go that fast as he wanted. Spritzy already making a move on Sprink there, leaving him behind, and we see a car going over the back as well, and it's Masquetta. It's a yellow flag.
In the Williams, I think, out of the race.
He's completely out of the race, yeah. And unfortunate for him, he was doing so well after the qualifying and was looking at a good strategy together with the Alpines, but unfortunately for him it ended up bad in the end, and he must be very disappointed after this race.
Yeah, no safety car because of that. Matt leading by 1.9 seconds, and Spritzy making a really good overtake around the outside into turn 1 to get past Sprink, which is what he needed. But yeah, really unfortunate for Mosquito there. Really unlucky in the first sector. I'm not really sure what corner it is, but either way, that is really unlucky for the Williams driver.
Yeah, for sure. And I just noticed it as well, Boris. So check, your mic is a bit cracking up a bit. So,
Yep, I did try and fix it, so I hope it's better now.
For now it is. Oh, and the Mighty Frex spun right on the track, and oh yeah, that's a hit. Someone hit him there. I didn't see who.
I think it might have been Natty. It was Natty. It was also, yeah, Thrax has damage, Rusty Oil Can has damage, and Natty has damage. So they're all going to be in the pits, and Natty has unfortunately retired.
Unfortunate for the Williams car there as well. So both Williams are out of the race now, and of course retiring, we never recommend it. But yeah, sometimes frustrations grab you more than you think.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate for those. Puggy in P3 now, of course he has to pit again, but doing quite well in the Mercedes on the hard tires.
Yeah, he's doing really well. And Spritzy doing really good on the hards as well. And Gooey is losing out towards Matt Johnson, so Matt Johnson might be looking at a good strategy here.
Oh, it looks to be another spinner for Axe there. Unfortunately, in last place, just pit onto the onto his soft tires, so he really doesn't want to be spinning out of the pits.
No, he definitely doesn't want to spin out of the pit lane, and unfortunate race for him so far, and so for Rusty Oil Can, who of course, yeah, I don't think Mighty Frex could doing a lot, but he just spun in the last corner right on the line, and that's just a difficult one to escape.
Yeah, Rart turns into the pits from his mediums. I'm not sure if he has any damage. He did have damage on his front wing, so he's boxing for, it looks like, soft tires, which definitely won't take him to the end, but I guess we'll see what he can do on the softs, try and gain a bit of time. While everyone else is fighting, he'll try and gain time in clear air and see what he could do come the end of the race.
And Sprink is still battling here with Maverick, Spritzy and Cosmo. Cosmo right on the tail of Sprink here, but Spritzy seems to be having a really good pace on those hard tires, but so does the Maverick, and the Maverick maybe has a 1.6 second gap towards the front of him, but so far he's looking good in P4. He has no DRS though, and Spritzy does if it gets enabled again. Further down the order. Oh yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Spritzy does have much fresher tyres, about 20% fresher than Maverick, both on the hard, so Spritzy will naturally have more pace than Maverick.
Yeah, and I think that pace is currently showing, but not that much if you expect it.
That's Westy spun.
Oh, and that's the same corner where Gallery or some. I was corrected last time on it. It's a Gallery, I believe, spun out one of the Haas cars in the first few laps of the race, and Wesley lost his entire front wing and will be disappointed with that so far. Rauches dropped back a lot as well, so I don't think I believe he picked up some damage maybe. He went for the soft tires. Well, we join back towards the front where the gaps are a bit smaller than in the back.
Yeah, and back I definitely won't be too happy with Westy, of course, engineering him for this race.
Yeah, let's hope Barker is a good engineer and can recover for Westy.
Yeah, they will be hoping for a safety car or something to bring them back into the race.
They will, yeah. As the Mighty Frex is coming up here as well on the straight. Let's see where Westy stays ahead of him. And so far he does.
Yeah, but Frex will have the slipstream all the way down into turn 4. And Wesley does get a bit sideways out of the corner. Frex of course has DRS.
We are still watching the big battle here. Well, Spritzy actually overtook the the Maverick here. I missed that for a moment. Sprink is still battling out Cosmo. keeping his position. And Matt Johnson is into the pit lane and he goes for the medium tires with 18 laps to go. Is this a tire choice which will work or is it not? It's a good question here, I guess.
Well, Ngori on 10 lap old mediums has 30% tire wear, so I think he will make it to the end. It will be close. Oh, tire wear! Oh, as Simple Matt get very, very close there. Oh, Matt goes into the back of him. And he has damage. Matt has damage now to his wing.
Oh no. Matt Johnson having damage on his wing, as our test system tells us, and that will definitely affect his race pace.
Yeah, he's having to slow down so much into those corners. And if he has to pit again, then he's definitely going to be out of the running unless there is another safety car.
I can't see it on track yet, so...
Yes, I don't think you can see it on track, but it does look like he's struggling a bit. We'll see. He might be able to keep it. As there's a spin for Sprinker, looks like our championship leader.
Oh! And he was looking at a really good battle here in the middle of the pack and lost out towards the Aston Martin guys now, which makes the Constructors Championship at the moment really, really exciting. Maverick still doing good job on P4. The Cosmo is 1.1 second behind him, and Big Buggy looking at the attack on Gooey. He's currently holding the P2 position with 11 lap on the hard tires.
Yeah, of course they are on alternate strategies to each other. They're both on 11 laps, but they both seem to have the same amount of tire wear, so that could be interesting about on when they decide to pit. It's like another spin for Maverick, facing the wrong way out of turn 4, and he's gonna have to try and avoid it or the oncoming cars there.
Oh yeah, Maverick is out as well, and I think it might be a bit of troubles on the hard tires, getting those tires to right temperature, or maybe even pushing them a bit too much while battling. And that's unfortunate for him as he lost out to a really good battle he was in. Big Buggy now really close behind Gooey. The Mercedes car will be looking at an attack anytime soon. But yeah, of course he does need to pit once again.
Yeah, they both need to pit, so it'll be interesting between these two. Of course they both have pace and they're both currently leading. The cars behind, some of them may have to pit, so they could be in for a good result if they keep it clean while racing.
And there goes Big Buggy on the main straight with the DRS open, and he has an overtake easily done on Gooey. Now leading the race, Big Buggy in a Mercedes car.
Yeah, Gooey might he will get the DRS, but he does look a fair bit behind Buggy. Coming out of turn 3, and that looks like Puggy has secured the lead of the race, and Spritzy not too far behind as well on tires with half the wear of the top two.
Spritzy he's looking at really good at the moment on those tires, I think.
Yeah, and unfortunately Matt does pit again onto hards to the end, and I think unfortunately for him, unless there's another safety car, he won't be looking at the win any longer.
No, which of course brings the Aston Martin cars in a really interesting position here tonight after the race. Currently holding P5 and 6, but Zabiaka is done on 7 lap mediums, which means he might need to pit once again, and so does Jones. How does their strategy work out for this tonight? Matt Johnson all the way down to P14 with quite a gap between the Aston Martin cars, but of course we've seen already that a really unlucky moment is in a small corner.
And that's facts out of the session and out of the race, and that is a safety car.
Oh, and there we go. Matt Johnson now on fresh hard tires, and now it's going to be interesting on the front with only 15 laps to go.
So that could change the whole race. So, because Puggy could pit, And if everyone else pits behind, then Puggy could be leading the race.
I think safety car just came out on the moment. Buggy and Gooey already were on the straight. So this might work
Yeah.
out perfectly for the Aston Martin of Sawyaka. And so for Sprink, by the way.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Jones, I think he missed it as well. So it benefits his teammate, but not the Aston Martin driver who is ahead in the championship.
And look at the interesting choice of Sinful and the Maverick here going for the soft tires.
To the end, 15 laps. Could it work? What do you think? Do you think they can make it to the end, or do you think it's a bit of a
I think it's a big gamble. Westy going in as well, of course. He wants that recovery mode anytime soon. And let's see where he's going to. He's going to the mediums, and so does Matt Johnston.
Yep,
so
and
that's an interesting one.
The gap from Puggy to Zabajaka is 34 seconds, so I think Puggy might be able to come out in the lead of the race.
Yeah, I think Puggy and Gui are looking at a really good strategy here. Let's see what Spritzy's gonna do. He's gonna go in as well. So does Cosmo. Let's switch to Jones, who's quite a bit behind him.
Yeah, I think it was the smart choice just to all go in there, get on fresh tires, and go to the end.
Puggy going for the softs.
Yeah.
Spritzy going for the mediums. Gooey going for the mediums, and so does Cosmo. So Big Puggy on the fastest compound here on this track. And an interesting strategy on the safety car, and I think seeing the pack is quite split up. Safety car will stay for 2 laps even, maybe even 3. So he might be saving quite some times on those, quite some wear on those tires.
Yeah, and Zab just letting Jones go, I think, out of the pit. So Jones is in P5, Zab in P6, and it's kind of like a 4 versus 1 on Big Puggy there. 4 medium tires and 1 soft tire. So Puggy definitely will have the pace at this at the start of the restart, but when it comes to the end of the race, could go and Spritzy be up there and challenging for the win.
Yeah, I think towards the end, Puggy will definitely struggle on those tires. Mainly because he has quite some fast guy behind him. And he does need to push those tires in the first laps to keep a gap big enough to fall down just a bit. Maverick went in again. He decided to change it to the mediums.
Yeah, and the only driver who doesn't have fresh tires is Rusty Oil Can in the McLaren. So it's definitely going to be difficult for him to make up positions. And also, the only driver with a penalty, unfortunately, is Uglop with his 10 second. Yeah, the drivers generally keeping it clean when it comes to track limits tonight.
Track limits seems to be really good, clean for the low gear division indeed tonight. Not a lot of penalties going on currently on track, and not a lot of dirty moves as well. So let's hope it keeps it like this.
Yeah, as Fritzy said, low gear is definitely the cleanest division of the lot, which is really good to see. The races are really interesting with strategy, and yeah, the races are they look really good when they're all clean.
So you're saying I'm not a good driver for low gear then? Or?
I'm definitely not a good driver for low gear either.
No, I agree. We've seen quite a lot of racecraft in the low gear divisions. A lot of respect between drivers mainly. And but of course we see that in the different divisions as well. But I think in high gear and mid gear the risk is drivers take a bit more risk, and that's mainly I think because they want to show off they're faster, and which is in a good ride of course. But in the end it's all about results.
Yeah, of course. So, as these drivers are showing, if you keep it clean, then you can definitely get a good result, even if you are down the field at the start of the race. And yeah, just like that, the grid has really changed. We've got Puggy leading now. Matt Johnson all the way down in P14. It's looking good for one Alpine driver, but for the for the other one, not looking so good. Of course, if it stands now, both of them would be getting points, but would that be enough to take the the constructors title away from Aston Martin at this moment? I don't think it will be enough.
No, I don't think for the constructors it's looking still Aston Martin for the top, but don't know what Matt Johnston can do, of course, on those medium tires. He might be looking at a really decent race pace on them. We only seen him on the soft tires so far, and once he got out for the mediums, he spun. So yeah, let's see what he can bring on those medium tires. Big Buggy deciding the pace here tonight for a first time here for him and a second time in low gear division with a safety car restart. It's looking really long here, and Big Buggy goes, and he might have surprised Spritzy there for a moment.
Yeah, Spritzy racing out.
Small gap with 6 tenths. Gooey woke up quite early and is still close towards Big Buggy. And Cosmo doing a really good job as well, closing towards Spritzy. Both the Aston Martin cars keeping it close towards each other as well, trying to keep their DRS and trying to help each other attack to the front. Championship leader Sprink is doing quite well at the moment on P8, and let's see what he can bring on those hard tires. Now your turn. Sorry for interrupting.
It's okay. Matt making up a few positions off the start there, and Puggy he's gaining a lot. 1.5 seconds near enough the gap is to the Red Bull driver on his softs. So I think the first that's a spin for Spritzy. Oh, and Jones goes into him. Oh. And Jones does have a bit of wing damage there.
But no overtaking from Jones, so Spritzy might be lucky there. And I can't see the damage on Jones's car. They're good. Ooh,
yeah, I think Spritz just let him through because
I think he did, yeah. And Zabiaka profiting from it as well. The sneaky one it is. Yes, that's an interesting one for Spritzy. Not looking good for Alpine at the moment, with two Aston Martin cars right in front of the other one. And while Matt Johnston is climbing his way up, already driving P10. Who knows what we might be looking at in the last few rounds of the last few lap of this race. It might be even two Alpines battling two Aston Martins while the Constructors' Championship goes between those two teams as well. Well, Matt Johnston goes for a late break into P9 and now attacking P8. Spivey making himself really wide here, but he knows he has the softer tire, the harder tire. Keeping it late break, a small touching here. Oh, pushing Matt Johnston a bit off there, but Matt made the move done anyway.
Yeah, I think he's trying to give the position back. I think he got an illegal overtake off the track. But he's going for it again. These two drivers are getting very close, and Spivey eventually goes off the track. Matt Johnson getting himself up into P8, and the two McLarens behind fighting now.
Maverick going wide. Oof, and in the back it's so close.
Yeah, and Spritzy down to P8 now. Matt Johnson getting past him up into P7, so something may have happened to Spritzy, and the two McLarens still fighting.
Oh, Spritzy now getting in the full. I think Spritzy got damage.
He has.
Look at him.
Yeah, he does definitely.
All the way to P16.
Yeah, he's definitely pitching there. It's like there's a lot of cars from P10 downwards fighting.
It's a big mantle in the back here. While Rauchins is battling off the McLaren to lap after lap. The Maverick trying to join in as well. There's a contact. Spivey right on the track. Did anybody hit him? No, I think everybody avoided him there. And
the Maverick has no front wing.
Oh my God! Maverick tried to keep it. Well, keep the battle alive with the McLaren or Spivey there, but I think Spivey lost traction or anything and just touched with the Alfa Romeo car. Well, Zabiaka left the session and that might not be looking good. Well, Matt Johnson is right behind you, mate. And yeah, there he goes already. Now Matt Jones is right in the spot for Matt Johnson. Matt Johnson can take the championship lead here if he overtakes Jones and keeps it that way.
Yeah, and Jones has a bit of front wing damage, so it's going to make it even easier for Matt Johnson, who gets very close to the back of his championship rival. And Spring, also in P7, going to get past Sabajaka. So it's the 3 championship rivals are all in the space of about one straight here, so it's going to be really interesting.
Oh, and Rusty Oyoken was on the inside line on the last corner. Rauchin's got a 3-second penalty with it. But he did overtake the McLaren there. Westy is now side by side with Rosebeertje. Westy had a little moment and gained a 3-second penalty. Spring falling down the order as well. With the two leading cars in the championship right in front of him, going side by side to this corner. This is a championship battle we've all been waiting for the entire night. Oh, and there's contact!
Matt spun no front wing. That was
and there goes Jones as well. I don't know who touched him, but that was definitely got a big hit. And Matt Johnson and Jones make contact, and it turned out to be completely chaos for both cars. Spring now leading towards the cars who are battling him for the championship at the moment, and this is completely chaos.
Yeah, they both have a lot of damage. They're both gonna have. Well, Jones might not appear, but Matt definitely gonna have to appear. And Matt's out. Matt went completely into the back of Westy, I think it was.
Oh my God! And what? Chaos broke down. Chaos completely broke down here on Bahrain tonight. Spritzy is out on fresh soft tires, so he will be happy with that safety car, but he's quite far off the pack. A lot of cars going in now. Big Buggy goes in for new fresh soft tires. Cosmo goes in, I guess, for soft tires as well, of course. Gooey stayed out. Spring
Sinful
going in.
As well.
Sinful staying out. Rauchen staying out. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. Jones might recover a bit. But, it's a double stack at Aston Martin. This might be a moment for RPM Westy to overtake Jones here. Well, he is changing his front wing as well. Oh, both cars are changing his front wing. Let's see. And Westy did get in front of Jones.
I think that was the best thing Spring has seen all night. His 2 championship rivals colliding with each other. One of them out of the race, and Jones down in P11 now, while Spring is all the way up in P6 without a penalty. That definitely put a smile on his face, because he's going to get a lot of points compared to his 2 rivals.
Yeah, and he will, yeah. Rauchen's having a bit of trouble going out of the corner, but on the safety car. Looking at the penalties, we got Rauchens with 3 seconds, Cosmo with 5 seconds. Uglaub still with 10 seconds worth of penalties. Westy and Jones going for 3 seconds as well. So this might be interesting, a battle between Westy and one of the championship contenders. Spritzy gained a lot of positions after he had a really few unlucky moments here. And wow, I have no idea what we just witnessed. I honestly have no idea.
Yeah, that changed everything. Because now, well, Matt gonna get virtually no points. Brink is gonna be leading by quite a lot if it stays like this, and Jones, well, Jones is, I think, I don't think he's even going to get ahead of Matt in the championship if it stays like this. And Matt, who could have won this race by a country mile, is now out of the race after having such good pace early on.
He did have a really good pace, and looking at the points for the moment, seeing that Spritzy is right behind Zabiaka, who both cars are battling in the championship as well. It's only 31 points between the two cars, so if Spritzy gets a good result done, he might be looking into a championship battle as well. But of course the gap towards the actual championship battle is still big for him. But not forgetting Raujins and Cosmo both have penalties, 3 and 5 second penalty. So if they definitely need a big gap to keep their positions, and otherwise they're gonna drop out a lot. It's gonna be a full course sprint race here in low gear division.
Definitely. So yeah, Goey is definitely gonna have to be careful of Puggy, who's going to be very fast with fresh softs, and compared to Goey's mediums and worn out mediums as well.
Yeah, it's a big challenge for Gooey, Raujins and Sinful as well, of course, 7 lap and soft tires, and Uglab as well, 7 laps and mediums, 5 lap mediums under his car. We're seeing all the other cars are on fresh soft tires for the race. And the pack is back together, so we're gonna see a safety car restart once again. This time another car deciding the pace. It's gonna be Gooey in the Red Bull with Buggy and Sinful behind him, both Mercedes cars, both on the soft tires, but there's definitely some live difference between those. Raujins on P6 with the mediums, and Cosmo from Cosmo on their fresh soft tires start on. Oh, and there's a bit of
Go backing up the pack quite a lot here, and he goes quite early. Well, he seems to be slowing down again. That's not what you want to. Definitely not what you want to do.
That's definitely a really dangerous choice there. Cosmo having a really good slipstream on Raujins already. Sinful getting overtaken by Raujins here on the outside line now. Oh, and that's contact. Cosmo hit it! Oh, and that's a really dangerous rejoin from the AlphaTauri car there. Full traffic coming up, and he just slams it right back on after the gravel. Spritzy now on P5 with Zabiaka still in front of him. And championship leader Spring right behind those two cars. Big Puggy already leading the race again. And Rouch is now overtaking Gooey, who lost his connection. I have no idea anymore.
I hope not.
No, I think my screen just... Jones right behind Spring, and well, this is actually really looking good for the constructors of Aston Martin, but it's going to be a very exciting battle towards the last few laps of the race.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like Cosmo and Westy are fighting quite a lot.
Maverick coming up as well.
Well, Maverick really as well, the inside.
He had a really good restart. He was all the way at the back. Side by side now with Westy here. Onto the straight.
He's going to have slipstream all the way down to turn 1.
Sister teams are battling it out for P9. Well, the Uglab are joining it as well on those mediums. And making it his teammate a bit difficult here. There's definitely There's definitely no good communication between the Alfa Romeo cars here.
Yeah, and Raujins in P3, he's got a 3-second time penalty and could lose the position to Zabiaka if he's not careful.
Ooh, Zabiaka going wide there. There comes Spritzy on the outside line. Spritzy taking the position away from Zabiaka after his mistake, running him a bit wide. But Spritzy is now on to P4.
I think Spitzy is definitely the overtaker of the race. He's had so many overtakes around the outside of turn 1 and now turn 11, I think it is, into that double left-hander. That was a great move from him and up into P4 for his Alpine team.
It's a really good move, and Spring now in the Aston Martin sandwich with the one battling him in championship right behind him, and if he keeps it like this he will be leading if we go into round 10. Meanwhile, Gui is just chilling out on P2. No penalties for him, and he has a second gap towards Rautjens here, who doesn't have DRS. Spritzy does though. No, he doesn't. What? No, he doesn't. I think DRS is just enabled now.
Yeah, Jones going up the inside and up into P6, and of course P6 at 19 points for Jones if he keeps this. So he won't get ahead of Spink in the championship if it stays like this, but that's still points, and points is always good when you're fighting for the championship.
Going up at P3. And now looking on the attack towards Gui. And somehow I really hope Spritzy doesn't manage it. Not because of it, because of it's Spritzy, but I really would love to see Gui on the podium here tonight. He has done a really good job and made a really ballsy move, staying out on those mediums.
I mean, I've raced him for about a year now, and he's a really good driver, and yeah, I would like to see him on the podium as well.
And of course he's looking good. Zabiaka is still stuck behind Rautjens, and Rautjens of course can overtake him anyway, but he still has a penalty. Yeah,
and Spitzy's tyres will start to wear out towards the end, but right now I think they will be faster than Gui on his soft tyres. Definitely. And with DRS on the long straights, you know, it's going to make overtaking a bit more easier for Spitzy. But let's see what you can do down towards
Rautjens has DRS as well. Gui is in full defensive mode. Bit weaving there. Keep the line, mate. Keep the line. And he goes a bit wide. Oh, and there's contact again! And that leaves Spritzy out.
Oh, and Martin goes into Spritzy. And he's out. This is a 5-second time penalty.
Yeah, that was
another driver out. Yeah, in turn 1 or turn 2, a lot of incidents and a safety car with 3 laps to go.
Isn't that the 4th safety car?
It's been a lot of safety cars this race.
Safety car with... Oh my god.
And it's this safety car is on... I'm not sure what.
It should be reduced, I believe.
Yeah,
this is...
reduced and still 4 safety cars, that is quite a lot.
Oh and my god.
So, with only 3 laps to go, and I'm guessing there has to be 1 racing lap, at least. Do you think people are going to gamble to pit, or do you think they're going to stay out no matter what side they're on?
They're going to stay out. I think Rauch is just trying to make the move, but no, I don't think they're going to pit.
Well, Spritzy will have to
drive through as well.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And yeah, it's just going downwards for him now. So did Gui, by the way. Spritzy disqualified for receiving multiple penalties, and he's out of the race. And what a horrible night for the Alpine cars.
Definitely. So the Aston Martin, there you go.
I'm just thinking, right? We might have jinxed it together.
Yeah, I think we have.
Saying Logan is the cleanest tier in RPM at the moment.
We
might have completely jinxed it.
Turn 2 has been so crazy tonight. People spinning off from other cars, going into each other, getting wing damage. As well, there's what? 20 drivers tied and there's 11 left. So yeah, I think we may well have jinxed it. But the 2 Aston Martins, they're going to be so happy to have a driver in the podium.
Yeah, they're going to be extremely happy. Westy going in though.
And after Matt absolutely dominating the start of the race, it looks like it's finally going the way of the Aston Martin boys.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the weirdest races I have seen so far in RPM, and it went all so well in the first part, and Bahrain just gave his curse out and destroyed a lot of points and a lot of good results for a lot of drivers. Oh my god.
Yeah, and both saying safety car can't be reduced, so I can't confirm it is.
I can't confirm it at the moment.
No, I can. It is unreduced. So 4 safety cars, that just shows the amount of drama.
Oh, and safety car in this lap, so we will be having 2 laps of full racing. Let's hope Westy can catch up quite early.
I think he will be able to. Big Puggy, I think, might. Well, he might back up. He's going to have to slow down a bit to let the safety car go into the pits. So I think Westy will catch up. So 2 soft tyres on the same amount of laps going to be leading, and then Rauchent with 11 lap-out mediums in P3. Jones is going to want to get past him as soon as possible.
There we go. Westy joined back, and Big Buggy going now. Sabiaka is awake though. Rauchent's going in. I don't know why. Oh yes, does he have a drive through or something? I don't know.
Spring losing out. Spring losing out a few positions.
Jones losing towards the Maverick here. And it's a late break. Maverick having the outside line. He is... It's now the Alfa Romeo cars are battling it out with the Aston Martins. This is insane what we're seeing here tonight. And Spring is 2 cars behind Jones. Which might just give him enough points to gain here, to lose his championship podium position. I'm not sure yet. If Cosmo's off the track, he spun on his soft tires, and that's really unfortunate with only 1 more lap to go after this race. After this one, Spivey all the way in P9, and we've lost Rauchens as well. So it's only 10 cars still left on the track after a full grid. Westy is driving on P8, Sinful on P7, looking quite good on still 13 lap soft tires.
Oh wow, yeah. I'll just check his tyre wear now, because that must be a lot, and he's doing very well to keep it on the track there. Sinful on 50% tyre wear, so he's definitely doing a good job to keep it on the track. And so yeah, Puggy 2.4. It's only been 1 lap and it's already 2.4 ahead of 2 Aston Martins, and it looks like Zabadraka is giving the position to Jones, playing the team game and letting his teammate, who is fighting for the championship, up into P2.
Jones has a penalty as well.
He does, yeah. So I guess Zabadraka, as the last race I commentated was Imola for low gear, and I think the exact same scenario happened where Jones was let through, and Zab, just like now, I guess, has to defend from the Maverick and make sure that Jones can secure his podium.
Well, I think Maverick is not that stupid to risk everything. He's still in 1.5 second lead, and Uglab's just left the track. He spun as well. And Spring now up in... Oh, and Maverick lost it!
Oh,
and he was looking at the podium position.
That's definitely going to have help Spring, because he's now up into P4.
But Spring is not within 3 seconds.
Yeah, so and yeah, Jones has a penalty, so, and Puggy doesn't, so Puggy's definitely secured this win here.
Puggy definitely did. Going through the last corner now, our winner of tonight's race in the Mercedes car, all the way from the back of the grid. It's Big Puggy Jones, after really tough 2 races last 2 weeks. Jones goes on P2, Spring on P3. I missed that.
Yeah, I think I've got a penalty.
Oh my god. Sinful on P5, Westy in the end on P6, Spivey on P7, the Maverick and Uglab on P8 and 9, and Cosmo coming over the line on P10. We've lost 10 cars tonight. Bahrain is a big curse at the moment.
It definitely is. That was a crazy race. 4 safety cars, a 2-lap sprint to the end. I think that was a great race to watch. It definitely was. And I'm trying to invite the guys.
Yeah, so Big Buggy, Jones and Spring into the interviewing room. Of course, Jones and Spring are not unknown with this room, of course. But Big Buggy is one of them drivers who never been in the interviewing room that much. So we're gonna wait till the most of them are in. I already see one of the cars joined. Well, we are watching to the final results here tonight. Well, it's a short one with only 10 cars crossing the line. And unfortunately for so many cars, it ended up bad. Really bad. Um, well, we are waiting so I can get out of this screen. Would be awesome. We gotta start off with Jones on the interviews. He took P2 in the end. His championship battle with P3 position of Spring is still going on. Mate, that was a horrific race to watch. So many things happened. 4 safety cars, a lot of cars getting out, and of course the Alpine cars crashing out as well. Tell us how it went through the eyes of a driver here tonight.
I was very intense, to be honest. It was a bit scary. And I picked up that 3-second penalty because kind of was going towards the gravel and kind of spinning all over the place. So I wasn't really actually, for once, ever cutting a corner. But God, that battle with Matt was intense. I don't know what happened to him there exactly, but it was real hard racing through there.
Yeah,
but
we've
I'm
seen you
sweating a fair bit now.
Yeah, I can imagine that. We've seen you battling with Spritz as well, and I believe there was a bit of contact between you two on track as well. But still, you recovered, and so did your teammate. I think he got a bit unlucky there, because I think he desynced one position, but that's for the stewards. Still, your championship battle still continues, and it didn't look like that in the qualifying.
No, yeah, I had a little bit of traffic on one run. I think I could have probably gone like 2 tenths quicker, but it was so close at the top anyway. That could have been 1 position or 5 kind of thing. So, yeah, really intense racing at the moment for the championship.
But you must be happy with the double points for the Aston Martins and no points at all for the Alpine cars.
Yeah, I saw Spritzy had a drive through at the end. I didn't see, and then it said disqualified. I don't know why that was, but I was quite surprised to see there was a safety car that late though. Usually it seems to be with 3-4 laps to go. It doesn't ever do the safety car.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, congrats. Well, Shaq, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, how are you looking forward to the next races? We have got 3 races to go, and the championship is still really close.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really like USA at all. Yeah, so just see how well I can do. Maybe hope the other guys make some mistakes, because I'm pretty sure Matt's the quickest anyway, so it'd be tough to beat him.
Yeah, definitely. But I guess with races with a lot of chaos like this one, anything can happen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think what did we have in the end? 4 safety cars, was it? It was tough to know what was going on with your strategy at times. So yeah, it's a bit intense.
Yeah, I think you did do. I think both you and Zab did really well with the strategy actually. Of course, just you guys just kept it consistent all the race, which I guess counted at the end.
Yeah, I think that was the plan from both of us. I mean, I got a bit of damage when Spritzy spun on the mediums, which kind of allowed Matt onto me, but it was okay to drive with. But obviously he caught up so quick, and then we ended up in the battle, and then that actually allowed me to go and get a new wing, which helped me at the end.
Yeah, and I don't think anyone else is going to join Rick.
No, I don't think anyone else is going to join as well. Well, congrats, Jones, on yet another podium. Not a win, unfortunately, for you. That one still lost out.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe someday.
Maybe someday. You've got 3 rounds left for that. Well, thanks everybody for watching it tonight at this one of the most historical races in RPM already. Shaq, any last words from you for the viewers?
Yeah, well, hope you enjoyed, and make sure to come back tomorrow and on Thursday for mid gear and high gear. And yeah, hopefully the races are as exciting as tonight.
Yeah, indeed. Well, that's it for tonight, guys. RPM going off for the low gear division here tonight. Round 9 is done for them. Tomorrow we will be back with mid gear division for round 9, where you can see me and Shag Attack on track. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and the video, and hopefully see you all back tomorrow for mid gear division in Bahrain. Have a great evening.